Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Sheilanfrancis, here with Michele to talk about the challenge. How are you doing today, Michele?
I'm good. It's freezing here in Toronto, but I'm surviving. And another episode where I'm annoyed. I'm bored at times. I don't love a lot of these people. I can't deny that. But you know what? It was nice to see Darrell. I'll say that. Nice to see Darrell.
It was nice to see Darrell, but not nice enough for Matthew to have Darrell as his backdrop picture. How are you doing, Matthew?
I'm doing okay. I mean, yeah, it's nice to see Darrell. I would have liked to see him win, so we didn't get a non-elimination week. That was pretty frustrating. I mean, just if you're gonna give us if a champ is gonna lose, like give us a double, please. Because
I thought it was gonna be a double. I really did.
I mean, I was hoping when TJ said at the end, like, "Oh, like I have like a twist for you guys." I was like, "All right, just bring out Laurel, bring out Zara, whoever is next." But no such luck, and we're gonna have to wait another week to hopefully get rid of someone. And yeah, that was not pleasant.
Not pleasant at all. Well, you didn't mention though the 2 women that you have behind you in your backdrop photo. Do you care to discuss?
I mean, the girls are fighting. It's like it's given us something. We're not getting it on the screen much, but if anyone follows either of these 2 on Twitter or you're in the Reddit streets, you know that Nurys and Olivia have been at odds for a little while now, but really escalated over the last 24 hours or so, which is making for more entertainment off screen than on screen.
Absolutely. And so I want to talk about it now because it actually is the most interesting part of the episode. Truly. Is the fact that like these women are going at each other.
And it wasn't even part of the episode, but it's like that's what I'm focusing on now because there's nothing interesting enough to handle about the episode to the point that even though I'm mad it was a non-elimination, I'm like happy Kyland's still there because at least he's someone who won't just necessarily go with the rest of the crowd.
100%.
So that's at least a little bit of something.
Yeah, it's like we don't want Jay to get his way.
Yeah, at this point.
Yay, Jay and Emmanuel don't get their way.
You know what? Congratulations, Jay. You've made it as far as you've ever made it on the challenge. So great. And now you've shown that I don't like
the least.
Yeah, exactly.
It is something. Like obviously, like I'm rooting for Kyland too, but it's kind of like the same thing we had experienced with Big T and Melissa, where like last week we predicted, all right, it's just going to be Kyland and James being sent in unless one of them wins. And now next male elimination, it's still going to be Kyland and James. And like, they're going to probably want Kyland to go in. And unless Brad or CT pulls the champ choice, like we're just going to get Kyland and James in there, and one of them's going to eventually go home, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We do have some friends joining us here. Hello, Dabu. All of our friends here actually don't have glasses on today because I'm tired.
We've got Danielle.
Okay, Danielle says, hey, Chantele, hey, Matthew, hey, Michele. Yay. Lena's here. Hello, Jay. What an eventual Twitter week. Yes, the Twitter week. We're going to talk about it a little bit for sure. Yes, can Cara and CT arrive already? We still have like a month before they arrive, right?
I mean, I would imagine those are going to be the last
point,
2.
Yeah, because we've got Laurel, CT, Cara, and Brad. So at least 4 more. Right?
Yeah.
And you think that they'll do Cara, Maria, and CT on the same day just to make it a double
maybe.
Really like bang for your buck?
Let's do it. Let's do 2 doubles.
I wish they did that. I just don't see it. I would rather them do the double for like Brad and Laurel. Like Laurel is exciting, but like Brad, like come on, like nobody really cares about Brad. Like he's fine, but I don't think anyone is like super excited for Brad to pop up. Even though he is an OG, like I
see
I don't
how long
Brad.
his beard has gotten,
and see how much his eyes are gonna be like bugged out. You know,
yeah.
See how intense he's gonna be. We'll soon see.
I just feel like CT and Cara are just like a spectacle that like I don't see them coming together. But especially if like one of these vets are gonna lose, just give us a double, please. Like I can't deal with another non-elimination when this season is already dragging.
I know. Exactly. Danielle here is bored. The second half of the season better live up to the trailer. Okay, I have to say that the trailer for the what's to come looked like there had some interesting, lively bits. So maybe there's more to come, or do you think they're just gonna edit those out, or it's just gonna fall flat, like, and they just made it look exciting for the trailer?
I have to say, like, the part of the trailer that made me the most excited, which is also making me the most nervous, was seeing CT at the end. Like, that was the most exciting thing for me.
At this point, though, is there anybody that we're really rooting for? Like, he could take anybody out that I don't actually care that much.
The only person I'm rooting for is Kyland.
I'm rooting for James.
I'm rooting for Kyland, James by proxy, yes. And then everyone else I'm rooting against.
Yeah.
Besides, like, I'm fine with Moriah making it to the final and having a shot, but I think with there only being one winner, likelihood, that it's more likely to be a guy. Although Cara won on her own, so, like, it can happen. We never know.
Yeah, you don't know the format, so, like, I would hope the format is, like, more equitable.
More even. Yeah, let's hope.
I mean, they don't really usually take that into consideration, but let's cross our fingers. So, it was asked what happened. Lena wants to know what happened here. So, we see a post from Nurys that says, since you want to like dumbass tweets that you very much know aren't true, let me go ahead and expose you since MTV want to save you with edits. You're a fake ass pathological liar, and a majority of the cast know that. You sucked off Emmanuel a week after we got to the house, and he was embarrassed, which is just why he never hooked up with you again, despite you trying for weeks. You then lied and said that y'all had sex. You then made up a story saying that Kyland professed his love to you when he never did. And then she says, oh, and please don't have me expose what you said your reasoning was as to why you didn't like Kyland like that.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Didn't love these tweets. At the same time, like, obviously I know there's so much that I'm not aware of. Obviously, I feel like what I didn't enjoy was just the idea that, oh, you hooked up with someone so quickly and then lied about the details, when it's like, Emmanuel could easily be lying about the details, right? Like, unless you watched it happen, you don't really know. You know what Emmanuel said. We also saw clips with the Colleen Emmanuel thing where it showed Colleen cuddling with him, and it showed Olivia cuddling with him, which means that even if he didn't have sex with her, he was still cuddling her at some point later on in the season.
With Ravyn on his other arm, if I
with
remember
Ravyn,
correctly.
well, exactly. And fair. Perhaps it's true that Olivia was still trying to get with him and he was not interested, but, like, he still hooked up with her to some degree. And the idea that, like, oh, he's embarrassed, like, don't love that. But obviously she's just trying to cut deep as much as she can in this moment. And apparently Olivia was liking all these tweets about Nurys still having a thing with Nelson, and like all these things that are, like, very clearly not true. Like, especially at this point, it's clear that she's not doing any of that. But yeah. Oh, just intense. Intense.
And Matthew, you have any thoughts about this feud?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, when obviously, like, we had all been aware that, like, the two of them were not friends anymore, like, just based off of, like, the, like, fact that they unfollowed each other. Like, there's been, like, rumors out there, and I think everyone is trying to, like, piece together, like, why are they not friends anymore? And I think over the last day, we've gotten a little bit more information about, like, what's going on with them. So just to kind of, like, add a little bit of context, maybe. So after I saw Nurys posted that yesterday, I was thinking, okay, what did Olivia like that was, like, so bad? So I went to Olivia's Twitter and I, like, clicked her likes, and, like Michele said, she had been liking posts, like, insinuating that Nurys and Nelson had been hooking up as recently as, like, this past year. When obviously, like, Olivia had a thing with Nelson. Nurys obviously took offense to that. And I feel like a lot of it was Olivia was kind of trying to, like, poke the bear. And then she then unliked all this stuff after Nurys, like, went off. And, like, we know Nurys can pop off. So yeah, like, she probably took it a little too far. But I think Olivia knew what she was doing when she was kind of poking the bear there. Also, when it comes to, like, the Emmanuel of it all, Emmanuel did go to Twitter this morning, and he basically said that what Nurys was saying was true. And he doesn't know why or if Olivia did truly lie about them having sex. But he is going to ask Olivia at the reunion and like try to find out like, why did you say that?
Man, that's really awkward though.
I'm guessing what Olivia will just say is like, you know what, like I consider third base sex.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that's what Olivia will say. And then the other thing was Moriah was on the official challenge podcast.
I didn't finish listening to it, but I listened to most of it.
It's a pretty good listen because she talks a lot about like the banana situation, like her side of things. And Moriah basically said about the Olivia of it all, like, hey, Olivia was basically like bashing me to the entire house behind my back, saying that she would never do anything that I did. And she was basically like siding with Banana, saying that Moriah was in the wrong. Meanwhile, Olivia was hooking up and attempting to hook up with Emmanuel. Meanwhile, she knew he had a girlfriend at home. So Moriah was kind of annoyed by that and that like Olivia wasn't being a good friend to her. So the other thing is Moriah mentioned that part of the reason why people are annoyed with Olivia is Olivia was trying to get other people in the house to target Horacio because she felt like she couldn't do it because they were ride or dies. And that seems to be the start of like the Nurys and Olivia of it all. So I'm wondering if in the coming weeks, we're going to see Olivia kind of mastermind a shot at Horacio. And if that's really going to like not sit well with Nurys.
And it shouldn't. But like then also though, I'd have to say then you can't say anything about Moriah here, who's standing up for the guy that she's, wants to see get far in the game. Like I get it. Horacio's a very, very strong competitor and he's going to have the stamina. He's going to be able to do really well in a final, but he's still Nurys's love interest, her guy. And so like the fact that they're coming so hard for Moriah for this simple little thing, it's like, relax. Like everybody has their number one. Let her have her guy. Who cares? Like, it's just
the whole thing. We'll get more into it later, but the whole thing with Moriah, like, I'm not like, I don't think she's making the best decisions, but like, come on.
Who cares?
Can we relax?
Like,
because also like, it's just like you guys decide who you're aligned with, and then the people that don't work at like, like, I don't know. It just doesn't. The hierarchy of this alliance bothers me.
Yeah,
that's also what Moriah was saying on the official podcast, was that she had allegiance to Michele, Nurys, and Olivia. And that's pretty much it. And then Michele has all these adjacent allies. And then Jay has these other allies that they all seem to need to protect. But Moriah only really ever said that she was protecting those three women. And then I guess maybe Jay by proxy. And so she enjoyed hanging out with James and Zara because she found them fun and entertaining. And so then all these other people like Berna and Colleen, who she never really had any sort of actual allegiance to, is mad at her for like looking like she's stepping outside of the alliance when she never really had anything with them directly. And so she just was kind of irritated with the fact that like she has to she has to protect these people and not hang out with the people that she's friends with that she really likes because it's making Berna and Colleen feel a type of way,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's also like frustrating. I mean, Michele is kind of like pissing me off this season where she was basically like upset with Moriah because Moriah wanted to protect James, but like Michele would have done the exact same thing with Callum.
Absolutely. She did do the same thing.
Exactly. The only reason that that's not an option anymore is because Devin came, pulled the champ choice, and took out Callum, where that had nothing to do. Like, Michele basically got saved by that because now she doesn't have to betray anyone or
stand up for somebody that's not in the alliance.
Yeah. So really, like, Devin did Michele a favor and she didn't even realize it. But it's just like kind of annoying that Michele is now one of the people that's like turning against Moriah in a way. And really like Moriah is like one of the people that I am definitely rooting for between like on the show, like her and Kyland are the two that I'm really rooting for. I like Nurys, but like she hasn't been like giving for me on the show. But she's probably like the third person that I'm rooting for at this point. But it's slim pickings.
Slim pickings. It's shocking because I was really excited for the season. Jessica says a lot of people annoyed me this episode, especially Olivia. Moriah is blowing up her life for this game. Dramatic much? She's acting like Bananas is Mariah's high school sweetheart.
Yeah, like, can we not? It's Bananas. Everyone was clear. Everyone has been clear that they were never a relationship. He literally went on a show before, that film before her show, and he's already doing stuff. He's obviously doing stuff at home. Like, they were never a thing.
Well, and then also
Like,
some more context that she added was that they got into some sort of argument before he went for filming House of Villains, and he left to film the show without even saying goodbye to her. And so he left and they were kind of on a sour note. And so then she makes a post saying, I'm single. And I guess he saw that post or someone told him about the post. And so he sent her flowers. And so she thought it was weird that he was sending her flowers when he didn't even want to like speak to her when he was leaving for the show, but he sees this post now and he wants to whatever make this gesture. And so they were kind of never official, kind of on and off rocky. And the only reason why she was upset was because she didn't want to actually say on the show and call him on the show to have this conversation, because she knew MTV would use that as footage in the show, and that's something that he definitely would not want to have. So she wanted to wait until after the season was done, and then she could talk to him in private about what was going on, but didn't realize it was going to be leaked by all these champs to Bananas, and to have this whole big blow up happening, and have Tori coming out there being like what are you doing?
Like, absurd that they keep bringing it up. Like, and I actually, one of my favorite parts of the episode is her being like, yeah, I'm kind of getting numb to it now. Like, and she's just like openly with James Moore. She's like, whatever. What else can they do to her at this point? The cat's out of the bag. It is what it is.
Yeah, I swear like production is now like telling the vets like, hey, make sure you mention Bananas before you leave. Because Moriah said like Casey also mentioned it. So now, like, since Devin, like, obviously Devin mentioned it, Tori mentioned it, Darrell had a line about it today, Casey mentioned it, it wasn't aired. So Moriah was kind of dumb in the sense that, like, she didn't want it to be part of the show by calling Bananas, but she didn't realize that it's going to be part of the show regardless. And, like, even with Bananas not being there, like, he is still like
this is actually probably better though for him. It's like the lure of Bananas, it precedes his actual physical image on the show. So I mean, I think he's getting what he wants out of it anyways, you know what I mean? Like, the story is about him, a lot of it, and he's not even there. I have to say though, Moriah did tweet this and Nurys liked it. She said, edit it out. Just kidding, he would do it to you too. And so she was referring to Darrell saying like whatever the was about Bananas. And at the end, he's like, oh, just kidding, like he would do it to you too. So
exactly.
like
it's like it's actually the best thing to come out of the season for me right now.
Hearing that he said
no, and just the fact that Moriah wasn't the whole time like, I just need to save myself because Bananas, like, I know we're not official, but like I just want to show him how much he means to me. Like, that would be the worst. So the fact that she's not, I'm like, yes, you get points for me. You get points.
Yes, we get points of her like not like, I'm happy she's throwing away her game for James because she's playing her own game. She's not playing this game for Bananas or playing a game to be cast in the next season or playing this game for all these women to dictate who she's allowed to hang out with. Like, she's doing her own thing. And so I'm giving props to Moriah for that, because Lord knows I would not be liking her at all if she was just going to put her tail between her legs and listen to whatever Olivia said. I'd be so irritated.
It's going to be hilarious when, like, if the vets keep coming in and, like, going at Moriah, Cara Maria will come in and be like, Moriah, I'm so proud of you. Like, congratulations. So that'll be funny if Cara says something.
You embarrassed Bananas, I'm into it. Yeah.
I mean, like, give him a little bit of embarrassment. Like, come on, he's 40-something and she's 20-something. Like, just, it's fine, Bananas. Like, just hang out with someone your own age, please. Please. Or
seriously.
Like 5 years younger, you know? Not like almost 2 decades. Okay, so should we talk about this episode, or was there more tea that you wanted to talk about? Actually, maybe I'll just read this Reddit comment. So just for more context with the Olivia Nurys part of it all, someone on Reddit said Olivia liked and then unliked some pretty bad tweets about Nurys too. One specifically about how Nurys is still in love with Nelson and Nelson only F's her between girlfriends. I know you all don't like Nurys on here, and not saying she's right here, but Olivia has always been shady, not an angel too, coming from someone who does like both of them. So that's that makes sense. It goes in line with what you were saying, Matthew. I'm Team Nurys here. I know that she might have kind of slut shamed a little bit, or like, bringing in her sexual activity into the comment, but she was direct. You know what I mean? She wasn't mincing words. She called her out, and I can respect that to a certain degree.
Yeah, I think she might have like taken it a little bit too far, but she did also post afterwards saying like, someone said like slut shaming is like not cool, and Nurys responded and was like, hey, like I'm not trying to slut shame. Like if anyone knows me, like like I'm comfortable and like confident with my sexuality. All I'm like trying to do is like highlight that like she is not as innocent as she says she is, blah blah blah. So I think like she maybe used the wrong words and like maybe exposed a little
she's
too
popping
much,
off in anger. You know what I mean? Like she's not going to be like, let me make sure that this is completely politically correct and that, nobody's going to get mad at me for that. You know what I mean? She was typing in Twitter finger anger.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm like also with you. Like I'm like fully Team Nurys. Like I've never been a big Olivia fan. Like even last season, like I liked her a bit more, but I feel like that was just more because she was just like such an underdog. And like Love Island, Olivia didn't like. This Olivia I'm not liking. Like to me, like she's not like providing much. And I think she's trying too hard to be like the like Tori 2.0, like she wants to be like the face, and she thinks by like in order to be the face you have to be like have this clean image, and really it seems like production is like helping her have that image. But like I want to see messiness, so like yeah, give me Nurys over Olivia.
Agreed.
Yeah,
for sure. I haven't seen this, but Zach called out TJ for his comments on Tori. Lols.
Yeah, I mean, don't love Zach, obviously. But like, yeah, one of the best to ever play. Okay.
And Darrell is just like, only his stats were named, not like.
Oh, that was annoying. That was like, Tori got like the whole goat thing, and then Darrell, when they brought Darrell out, all they said was like, all right, like we have a 14-time contestant here, like bring him out. It's like, wait, what? That's it? Tori gets the GOAT after winning one season against Nani and Anissa, but Darrell doesn't get anything.
He got four back
to ever win 4 back-to-back.
Yeah, but that was after they already brought him out. It's like not before when they were like hyping up the next person.
Whoa, Lena, I have not been able to listen to that much of it. Have you, Matthew? You seem to take one for the team here.
I've listened to like sometimes if there's a guest on that I like, but the thing is like they only put like 20 minutes on YouTube and the rest is behind a paywall.
Right.
So I listened to like the 20 minutes and and then I'll see like clips on TikTok, but it was pretty good when Zach was going on the rant about how like when you think of the GOATs of the challenge, like Tori like isn't even in like the top 5 or top 10. Like maybe she's a top 10 female, but like when you think of GOATs, you're thinking of Bananas, CT, Wes, Jordan, Cara Maria, Laurel, and he started listing all these names. Like yeah, like when I think of GOATs, like I'm not just thinking of who's the most like physical person. I'm thinking of who's contributed the most to the show, and Tori is not someone that really crosses my mind.
Like at all.
Yeah.
Like not even. Well, I did once. Like a couple years ago, I think now we did a list with the Nullified Take and Angel Cake. And we did a ranking list of like the top, I don't know, maybe 50 people. And so I don't remember where she placed. I'll go find her list, but like she might have been top 10, but I don't know if she cracked top 10.
Yeah.
She definitely wasn't like like top 5 material,
I feel like if we did like a ranking of like the top whatever 50 people now, and it's like, all right, when you can consider like abilities in the game, physically, socially, strategically, and then like your
legendary status. Though,
your legacy as well,
Mhm.
all of it combined. Like she's probably a top 10 female now, which is great, and that's not a knock on her at all. But she's not top 5 at this point. Like she's only 30. Like she probably has 10 years left, so she can make it. But she's not at the top at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll definitely, if we have a break, maybe we'll do top whatever, 25 men, 25 women. That'd be kind of fun. Okay, well, let's talk about this episode. Episode 10 of the challenge. People are joking that there's 13 episodes left. Do we think that this is just the halfway point?
Well, like we're supposed to still have another phase of the game. Is that just going to be the final? Like, come on.
No, the phase of the game is going to probably be at least 6 to 8 episodes, I would think.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and that's probably when we'll get like the more traditional eliminations. Like we'll get like hall brawls and like balls in, whatever, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why didn't they give Darrell a pole wrestle?
Well, Casey got it, right?
Oh, right. Balls in something. I don't know,
Yeah.
not this weird janky one. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, like those ones I think are better for just the regular things, like just a regular
Mhm.
elimination. But like with these champs, you want ones that's going to be able to show what they're capable of doing, not figuring out the weird mechanics of this apparatus,
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what CT gets as his elimination. Like that's going to be interesting. I have to think like CT probably wouldn't have shown up unless he was like confident that
he's getting the 10 grand.
Yeah, or like that he's not being thrown into a hall brawl where this like 42-year-old guy has to go into a hall brawl against James or Corey Lay. Like I'm sure he's not signing up for that, right?
This is correct, King Cooper. You are right. Wasn't Darrell and Casey's elimination switch due to weather? Makes sense since this had
Right.
the fire and it was raining. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
sense.
so that would make a lot more sense. So how do you think then Casey would have done with this fire one against Big T?
I mean, Big T would have had a better shot, but I still would have favored Casey.
Yeah.
But at least it wouldn't have been a blowout.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they have had a better contingency plan? So Horacio thinks him and Kyland have to win. And that's another thing, too, that I don't understand is why Horacio is so on the outs, right? He should have Olivia kind of fighting for him. And he is flirty and working towards something with Nurys. So why are him and Kyland so far on the outs? Is it just because they're the last tier of the US alliance?
I think it's that, and I think it's because Jay wants it that way because Jay is intimidated to be against Horacio in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing that I'm surprised about is like, how does Horacio know this? Like, because Horacio is like not the most strategic person. Like, and if Nurys or Olivia or someone else told Horacio, like you would think that there'd be more of a blowback from like the women that were telling Horacio. So I'm actually kind of surprised that Horacio is aware that he is a target or a potential.
Nurys is probably telling him that actually, and maybe he's just keeping his mouth shut.
Yeah,
like about where he's getting that information from.
Yeah.
Okay, did you find the beginning of this episode was strange? I was like, is this the challenge? Like, it was like the way that they were doing the B-roll kind of shots to like lead into the episode. It didn't. I was like, is this a commercial? What's happening? Did you notice that or no?
No, I don't think I noticed.
It was just strange. Just like the lead into the Horacio conversation. It was just very weird. Well, Colleen also thinks that she's going to be thrown in again and again. And like, why does Colleen want me to like her? Because she just really wants to target Moriah. And I'm like, Colleen, I want to like you.
It's easier to target the person who seems to be a little bit more in the outs. It's the same thing with like Corey with Big T and Melissa. It's just like, why don't you see what's happening and try to actually do something about it? I don't know.
Like, okay, wouldn't you think? Like, this is what I think that I would think. I don't know if you get brainwashed when you think you're in an alliance or whatever, but I think if I were Berna and Colleen, and I see that Moriah is a little bit of an outlier here, and that means she has the number potentially of maybe Zara as well, and James as well. And oh wow, it looks like Kyland and Horacio are kind of on the outs of the big alliance. Why wouldn't they become the numbers and go after the heads of the snake, where they're calling out Michele and Jay being very well situated and being in cahoots with everybody? Like, why wouldn't they pick up everybody that's kind of not part of the nucleus and create a separate faction to go against them? I don't.
Because they don't trust each other. And because they're stupid. So
okay, that's the answer I want. But yeah, probably both those things. But like, it's just so frustrating because it's just right there. They have the numbers still, and they just keep on getting rid of the numbers that can help save them.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just like Colleen might think that maybe she can convince like the core of the alliance to actually go against Moriah, which I don't see happening. But like, I don't know, maybe Colleen thinks that it could happen. Whereas like she wouldn't have to like form like a second side of the house, and she can just like have Moriah be the target, which like isn't gonna work. Like, I mean, ultimately, like again, like I just think we're gonna get Colleen back in as one of the 2 votes next female elimination, and now it's just a matter of like who's the second gonna be. Like, it's not gonna be Moriah. It's probably gonna be Zara or
Colleen or Berna.
Yeah,
oh,
well,
Berna.
Colleen, one of them. Berna,
Yeah.
Colleen, Berna, Zara, or Ravyn, maybe. But more likely it's going to be Berna or Zara.
Mhm.
And Colleen just doesn't realize. Again, we talked about it last week. I just don't think Colleen is like right for this game. And she's probably like good TV and like good at like decent enough at other games. Like, I know she's on The Bachelor. Like, that's definitely
Mole.
yeah, like that. Like, that's probably better for her.
But you know what? That she was the actual mole, and so when you're the mole, you get all the information, right? So you have the producers being like, "Okay, this person is sus of you," and like or like this is going to be the answer to the puzzle or whatever. So like she has played a competitive strategic game, but she had all the information, and so I think that she just doesn't realize that she doesn't have any of the information, and that she can't play from the same power position as when she's literally the lead of the show.
Yeah,
So
I think
go ahead.
I think she's also not realizing that like the game expands beyond like the 6 weeks that you're filming for, the 9 weeks you're filming for, where it's like she goes back to Germany and Olivia, Moriah, Nurys, Michele, are Ravyn, like they're hanging out in LA or wherever in New York.
True.
So it's like, oh yeah, we all played 38 together, so we should be together. But it's like, yeah, we all played 38, and then
we also live in the same city. And
yeah, 5 of us went back to New York and LA, and you went back to Germany, and we spoke to you once or twice on FaceTime, but we're chilling all the time. So she's probably not realizing that part of the challenge, which is what makes it like a different game than any other reality show, for the better or worse.
Jessica agrees with me. Yay. Colleen is fighting between being number 4 and number 5. Like, it makes no sense, Colleen. You're still on the bottom, but just one up. Absolutely. Like, there's no way that she's going to be able to get any sort of power in this game if she's just stopping herself from being the last one out.
Yeah.
At all. Melissa leaves a note for Kyland, and he misses her. Did either of you tear up here?
No, but I wondered, because I haven't seen anything, so I'm
why
assuming
he
there's
dry off before he read the letter. That's what like there's like this one like drip that I was like, it's gonna drip. I'm like, can you just like dry off before you read this letter?
Yeah, that did bother me. It did bother me that I remember it now. But I just like I wanted like obviously there's nothing happened after this. Like they never saw each other again, I'm assuming.
Well, as far as
that's
I know,
kind of
he's
Melissa's
like
tea.
It's seeing Taylor. Or he has something going on with Taylor. So
no, Taylor, no.
I think that, you know, he probably went back to his life in LA and or in the US anyways. Yeah.
So Melissa was on the Challenge Mania podcast, and they asked her about Kyland. She basically said like, yeah, like I have a daughter, like I'm not like flying to the US like every month and like leaving my daughter at home. So like I'm like, we're not dating, like we still like talk, like we're fine, but like I'm excited to see him at the reunion, but like we're just friends right now. Like I'm sure like if they're on a season together again, like there might be sparks, but yeah, like I don't think it's going to be anything serious, obviously.
Yeah, nothing serious, but if they were on another season together, depending on timing, I could see them kind of canoodling again. She's a Taurus, he's a Cancer. That's like the best match, one of the best matches. So I could see them having chemistry on another show, but for proximity, I just don't think it's a thing. Jay, what's happening? Melissa unfollowed Kyland actually recently.
And they haven't filmed the reunion yet, have they?
No, they have not.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I think they're filming it soon, though, because Nurys mentioned that Horacio won't be at the reunion because he's filming. I forget the name of the show.
Exactos, something like that.
Yeah.
Somebody also tweeted at me that on that show, he had a visit from family, and so his brother came and Nurys came for like the family visit. So
yeah, I saw she posted a video on Instagram. It's pretty cute. It was like traditional like loved one visits, but it was nice to see. And she like spent like 6 hours or something at their like house or wherever they stay there.
So the challenge fan here says, also Moriah said on the podcast, I didn't hear this part, I guess it must have been at the end, that after Melissa left, he moved on to Ravyn. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he like moved on to her, but it was like they had like he was like flirting heavy with her, and I don't know if it was like for the game or not, or if we'll see it, but I don't know if anything actually happened, but she mentioned that they had like he was flirting heavy with her.
And it makes sense. Like, I don't know. Ravyn really had it out for Melissa. Obviously she threw the drink, so there's reasons, but like, I didn't because I was just thinking that she was into Emmanuel, but maybe she was also into Kyland and that she was mad about that too. So interesting.
Okay, so it's the day that Melissa went home. He was hitting on Ravyn and Olivia. Kyland, chill out. Like, read the note. Like, pretend to be sad for a day. Please. So she probably found that out then. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Do we need a reunion? I mean, I wouldn't mind hearing some of responses to these Twitter feuds.
Yeah, the thing I'm worried about is like a lot of the people that like have been providing nothing are just going to like come to the reunion and like act all tough as like a last ditch effort to get a callback for a future season.
Yeah.
So like you're going to see people like
their auditions.
Yeah, like people like Ed and who else?
Will Ed be invited?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But like people like Ed and like Emmanuel, who have been like quieter on the edit, are just gonna like pop off at the reunion. It's like, well, you need me back now because I'm starting shit with whoever.
So Michele and Moriah talk while doing face masks, and we see Michele. I rolled so hard talking about how James is so bad for her game. I'm just like, Michele, you are definitely a person that is always into having some sort of male companion on a show that's helpful for your own mental health and your game.
She flipped out when Callum got taken out. Like, if he was still there, she would be doing the same thing with Callum. It's so hypocritical. It's so
annoying.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying. And I'm just like, Michele, like, I want to like you. She makes it so hard. And I'm like, just the fact that like Moriah has to sit and hear them basically tell her that she can't enjoy hanging out with someone that she likes. It's just pretty. It's like I said last week, I think Boston Rob in Redemption Island, where it's like a buddy system and like you can't have people talk to other people because they might have their own thoughts and they might think something different than the alliance. And it's like, it's not working for me. It's pissing me off. So Asaf obviously wants to take Kyland out. He's talking to Jay, Colleen, Berna, and all of them are talking together. And I get it. Like, Kyland is an outlier in the sense that he has his own mind and he's not necessarily going to go with the alliance, and he's strong and he did a lot of studying. He knows a lot about the game and the show. So I get why he's a threat, but like Asaf, like I'm done with him. Yeah. What is our percentage that he's going to get called back for this season?
Like the thing is, he is like he gets like a decent amount of airtime, and
Too
like
much.
he's bringing, and he's very annoying, but he's like bringing drama while being annoying. So I'd say like still probably unlikely, but like I wouldn't say it's 0. I'd say maybe 30%.
That's pretty high. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's going to be annoying at the reunion for sure. I agree, Debu. And do you think that it's going to get him a callback? What if Asaf wins the season?
Oh, I mean, if he wins, like I imagine he'll be back. If he won, though, that he would be the most annoying winner because he would think he's like hot shit. But
I can't. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Then he's going to win?
Yeah, it can't.
Oh,
I mean, there's a huge possibility, right?
There's mental comps. Like
maybe he's smart. We just don't know. Right? Maybe. Berna and Michele are talking, and Berna, okay. I understand Berna's situation because Michelle's like the only person that she really has in this game that she actually trusts and they're friends in real life. Michele is a bit of a social butterfly. Like she has friends and connections with other people. And Berna always just kind of brings annoying negativity to their conversations. And so it's not as enjoyable for her to hang out, for Michele to hang out with her in this situation. But like, can't Berna figure it out and just like be cooler and more fun to hang out with, and she'll want to hang out with you? Like nobody wants to hang out with the nag. Nobody.
Yeah, I said to you guys earlier today, like how does Berna play Survivor without food and sleep? Because she's already like insufferable now. And like imagine just like not having food, makeup, sleep, water consistently. Like what is she like in Survivor for 60 days? And
maybe she's just like a powerhouse and just like wins challenges, so people keep her on their team, like if it's like two teams, and so they keep her until the end, and then she's like first boot at the merge.
Like is she even that good physically? Like we haven't seen her be like anything special, right?
Or maybe they like her cheeks.
Yeah, that could be it.
I mean, they look good. Yeah. Cannot win. No. Not a callback. Oh my god, literally most annoying person. Would you rather Corey L winning or Asaf?
I'd rather Corey L.
Corey, yeah.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
I find Corey's very annoying too, but like I do find Corey like brings more like entertainment because he's messy. Like Asaf to me is not that messy. He just like talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, Corey's not messy? He is messy.
No, Corey is messy, which is why I prefer him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like Asaf is just annoying.
Yeah, like Asaf is just doing what Jay and Michele want and then like acting like he is like this big mastermind.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so you're doing their work for them. Okay, cool.
Luciana here is saying that Berna's the friend that you called to cry with, not to laugh with.
Fair.
I guess maybe. But like, know your role as well as in a friendship relationship, right? Like, I mean, maybe Michele should have established this a little bit better, being like, listen, like I'm going to be hanging out with these people that I've made some connections with. I am still with you. Don't just like you just have to play your own game, but know that I am on this side here protecting you. And like just be cool with that. Don't freak out. Like I'm working here for you, but I still have to keep these relationships good so that we can keep you good. Relax. Right? But she's just terrible at this social element. So Ed is giving a martial arts lesson to Zara and Emmanuel. And he was pretty good. I was actually quite impressed by how great he was at martial arts. And then I'm like, oh, we get an Ed package here, seeing his girlfriend and his girlfriend's child. I was like, okay, so this episode's gonna be about Ed. Is Ed going in? Is Ed winning? Like what? Why is Ed being the focal point?
No, he's doing nothing again.
Yeah, they just had to give Ed a little bit of screen time, but I did actually think Ed might have been the second vote at certain points, but no, it was just to kind of put a little bit of doubt in our minds.
It's a little bit. Hope in our minds, maybe.
Yeah.
So the daily, we find out that they have $366,000 that they're playing for. I mean, still a decent chunk of money. I'll take it. I won't be upset about it. Like what? Rainier Games, what they're playing for? What? $100,000? Like 360 grand to be on this show. It's pretty good. They're gonna be playing in two teams, Skyball, where they basically have to two teams, they have to race to unscramble a puzzle. Once they unscramble the puzzle, there's people that are up in this caged ball that to release these smaller balls out of the cage with using the combination of the word that they figure out in the puzzle. And then they have to take these balls and put it into their pyramid. Once they get all their balls in, they win. The two teams are orange, which is Emmanuel, Zara, Horacio, Asaf, Moriah, Colleen, Ravyn, and Jay. And then the blue team is Kyland, Michele, Nurys, James, Corey, Ed, Berna, and Olivia. So just knowing those two teams, did you have one that was going to be favored to win, you think?
Not necessarily.
I thought they were decently strong.
Yeah, they were.
I was like Emmanuel, Horacio, Moriah, Zara, Jay. Actually, they might have been a little bit stronger. And then the other team was like Kyland, James, Corey. And actually, no, blue could have done pretty well.
Yeah,
actually.
I just thought this was like a challenge like anyone really could have won.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I forgot to mention, but was super annoying. So I actually was spoiled coming into this episode because the official challenge Instagram has been posting videos of Cara, Maria, and Darrell, and they're watching the previous week's elimination and they're commenting on it. So it's like a 10-minute video each week. So I'm watching this week's and they're talking about the Tori elimination. But then in big block letters before the Tori elimination, the official challenge podcast posts Darrell versus Kyland. And then it's a video of Tori, and they put the
wrong thing up.
They put the wrong names. They put the names for this week, but then the video for last week.
Brutal.
So I'm like, okay, well, now not only do I know that Kyland's team loses, I know Kyland goes into elimination against Darrell. So I'm like, really? Like, how are you That's how little they care about this season, that they can't even take the 30 seconds to make sure they have the right names on the video.
But like, also, if you've been an editor on this show for a season, even this one season, wouldn't you know people's names? Right? Like if I'm making a video right now of like a little clip, I would put the correct names of the people on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was so annoyed. And then like 3 hours later, they repost the video with the right names. And in everyone in the comments,
it been a template, like just cut and paste, and the person was not paying any attention.
Yeah. Well, in everyone in the comments is like, we know why you're reposting this. Like, thanks for spoiling. And it's like, yeah, so annoying.
So annoying. Brutal. The intern don't care.
Yeah. They just want season 40. They want All Stars 4 and they want season 40. But yeah, this is multiple times they've done this where they've just spoiled the elimination. They did it with like Jordan and Cierran. Where they literally showed Cierran in the elimination.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like whoever is doing this just does not care at all.
It's so.
So again, just like give us the double episodes. We'll get this season over with, and we'll go to All Stars.
Like they could have wrapped this up by the end of the year. Just start doing double episodes twice a week, and just let's get it done. All right, so the blue team gets the word chaos first. In actuality. Nurys is the only girl on her team that was basically down doing the puzzle part with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
But then we see Jay from the yellow orange team climbing up to the top of the pyramid. And basically after both teams get the chaos part, which is what the puzzle spelled out, they put chaos into the lock, and then they're able to start throwing the balls out. So Jay gets to the top of his pyramid, and they're just throwing him the ball, and he's getting it into the hole, and it was pretty easy for him. He did a good job, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, ugh.
That's what he's good at. Those weird, specific climby type things.
Climby, ball catch, put it in the whole thing, I guess. Yeah, so he's doing a good job. Orange wins, and it's a male day. I really thought with that long-ass pause, he's going to say both male and female day. I did.
Yeah.
So James, of course, thinks it's going to be him or Kyland. Like, we know. Of course, that's what's going to happen. There's no surprises here. James must know though that this show is boring, because like he's usually the guy that's called in for like the entertainment and the hooking up with girls. Like he's coming with what he's hired to do, And, with hearing Melissa being like, this cast was so boring, like even Moriah saying like, oh, she wanted to hang out with James and Zara because they were fun and entertaining. Like, he must be like, man, I don't know if I'm going to do the challenge again because this is a bore.
Yeah, a lot of the cast members have been saying like online or like in podcasts, like, yeah, like this was like really boring. It's like, all right, like can you like do a little more then? Like, I like James too. Moriah was saying like, yeah, the reason I like only hung out with James and Zara is because everyone else was super boring. It's like, okay, like then mix things up a little. Like you are making a TV show, so can like people need to understand that, especially this cast, because this is their like trial, right? So all these people that like want to be faces of the show moving forward, like, give us something. Otherwise, like they are just going to keep calling back the Caseys and Fessies of the world. So like they're not going to call you if you're being boring.
Yeah, if they want someone boring, they'll just get someone boring with more followers and more clout.
Yeah.
So when the guys are the team is deciding, Horacio notices that Jay isn't standing up for Kyland. Like, of course he's not. Jay never stands up for anybody. He's so wishy-washy. Like, never. So Kyland, of course, is going in, and Horacio is recognizing that he can't trust Jay anymore. I'm like, okay, well, finally. So it's basically going to be between, so for the blue team that lost, between James, Corey, and Ed, who they're going to have to be choosing to be going in against Kyland. So after the whole daily, Kyland asks Zara what happens, and she basically also kind of reiterated that Jay didn't really stand up for you. And so Kyland is also recognizing that Jay is not really here for him.
Yeah.
I hope that means that he's like, can they, do you think they'll come for him? I want to figure out a way to come for Jay, or is he just too well insulated?
The only time that happens is there has to be other vets, or, well, there doesn't have to be, but I don't know. I guess it's like, should we be praising him in a way for setting up this environment, this hierarchy where he's in such a powerful position? Or is it like, no, he's doing the same thing he always does, is wishy-washy, does this thing, manipulates in a way, but it always comes crashing down. And this time it just happens to be lasting longer because there are no vets to sort of break it down earlier. If that makes sense.
Well, and also the format of the season, it doesn't really allow for you to actually get out your target necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't know if you, like, you might easily put down two people that you want out of the game and none of them go home. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, I do actually think like Jay and Michele like do deserve like a lot of credit, but on this like on the flip side, like they're doing really well to like go far this season, but like they're just going to be so fucked in future seasons because now they're like pissing off the only people that would be willing to otherwise work with them when there are vets there. Because like as soon as Jay and Michele come back for season 40 or 41, they're instant targets from by everyone because they've proven that like they're capable and they're also not trustworthy. Yeah, they're like, I feel like they'll both be on 40 and they'll be targeted very early.
Probably Jay before Michele.
Yeah, I feel like Michele has a little bit more pull with like the vets. Jay, like no vet wants to work with Jay. None of them like him. But the only way I see Jay being targeted without like CT or Brad calling him out is if it's a daily where there's only one or two, like there's two winners and one of them happens to be Kyland or Horacio maybe. But even Horacio would probably get talked out of it by Nurys.
We're hoping that this is the main event, right? But like, what happened? No, I can't even put that out there. I won't say. So Berna thinks that Ed is CT and Turbo in one. Do we agree or disagree with this assessment?
Ed is a combination of CT and Turbo. Yeah, no, I don't see that one bit.
No.
Thanks, bad call, Berna. Corey and Jay are talking. about the girls' vote, and they're saying how James is a distraction and a liability. And I'm just like, just let her hang out with a freaking guy. Like this is part of the challenge, is like also maneuvering people's situationships and showmances. And
it just comes
flirtmances.
across as like bitter and hypocritical because all of these people do the same things when they're in those situations. Like all of them.
100%.
Olivia, Nurys, Michele, Kyle, like all of them. They're
All of them.
all doing the same thing. So why are we just focusing on
Jay's
her?
Jay's the most bitter though. Like remember how badly he wanted to get out Callum? Like and like I think he's probably partially in love with all his best girlfriends and like just doesn't like how when they get with other guys. Like not that Moriah's one of his best girlfriends, but like Nurys, he has Horacio, and like I don't think she was ever with him. And like Michele and him, I think they tried something, but it didn't really work out. And so he's seeing her with other guys, and he'd prefer her to be with nobody. So I think he just doesn't like the fact that he's not the it guy that all the girls are trying to get with.
Yeah.
At club night, we see Kyland and Horacio talking about the fact that they can't trust Jay, and Jay broke their trust. And so at least, yes, they're sort of coming to understand that like Jay is a big problem for them. Yeah, Mary says Jay is the biggest cock blocker. Yes, that's actually what Jay is. 100%.
I feel like part of it is also like Jay and Michele to an extent are like trying to be like the like leaders of the rookies, and it's like, yeah, like we have to do things this way, but like could you imagine Michele or Jay like saying this to Tori? Like when Tori is like hooking up with Emmanuel a few seasons back, like they would never say that to her because Tori has like way more like pull in the challenge world. But now it's like, all right, Michele and Jay have done a few seasons. So like, yeah, let's like tell Moriah what she's doing is wrong because she's only done a season and a half and we've done 3 or 4 seasons. She's like,
well, also like in the season that she's been on, she actually also was in a showmance. So like it actually works for her. Like as far as she knows, it works for her to keep her number one guy in the game.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like a lot of it's just they want to control people like Moriah, who they feel are like impressionable.
Yeah, and I love that Moriah isn't. Give me that Aries energy. Don't tell me what to do. Like Aries do not like being told what to do at all. Corey wants the vote to be Ed or James. He just says as long as it's not him, he's fine with either of them going in. Moriah tells Nurys that James has her back. And so she wants to make a deal with Nurys and be like, listen, like I can make sure that James never says your name. Can you make sure that Horacio doesn't say James's name? And like, can we just like start working together? And I was like hoping that Nurys would kind of be like, okay, don't tell anybody I'm saying this, but yes. Okay. Like on the DL, we're going to try to protect our guys and each other, you know. Mm-hmm. I wish. Again, Berna is feeling jealous about Michelle's relationship with everybody else. Michele, of course, is drained by Berna. And so she's telling Olivia about how Berna is just pretty draining. I think this was after the club. And Olivia says that this is a codependent sisterhood. A little bit. I'd be annoyed if I was Michele, but I think I'd have handled this friendship a little bit better. So we see Moriah. Okay, this is a question that a lot of people have. So Moriah's telling James that he needs to go talk to people in her alliance, and he does not want to kiss anyone's butt, and he doesn't want to go around and do any politicking. What do you think about his decision?
Yeah, so this is where like I want to like James, but like if he has no interest in like playing the game, and like his only like tactic is going to be like, hey, like, if you want to send me in, just send me in. Like, that's not really fun to see either. Like, I'd like to see him try and, like, if he's not able to sway people, then, like, cause some chaos. Like, it is chaos stage, so, like, do something. I don't like the, like, mindset of, like, whatever. If they want to send me in, they'll send me in, and I'll try to win, and if I win, I'll come back. Like, that's the most boring gameplay. Like, at least try something.
Right.
And, like, Moriah is, like, doing all the thinking for him, which is, again, like, why I'm appreciating Moriah more. But I don't know. I wish we got a little bit more out of James in terms of, like, the willingness to strategize.
Mm-hmm. I did like, though, that after Ed is politicking a bit, and he thinks that James is actually a useful ally, and Corey is a little bit more all over the place. So I was like happy that Ed would prefer James to stay in the game, because like I like James more than I like Corey. So I was like, all right, Ed, that's I like you more because of this. That you're not automatically going against James.
I think I actually like Corey more than Ed, though. Just because Ed is so boring and like is providing nothing.
I liked the kickboxing session, okay? But you're right, but like Corey just gets on my nerves that like I can't like him that much.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you have
I'd rather
a higher
be,
tolerance than I do, I think, than irritating people.
I would rather be friends with Ed in like in real life, but like on
Right.
the show, I would rather have Corey there than Ed.
Yeah. Same.
I'd rather have Corey there than Ed. Yes, I guess. Kyland, Horacio, and Jay are talking. I didn't write anything about that. Do you guys remember that conversation? I don't know. I just wrote that down.
Sorry, who was talking?
Kyland, Horacio, and Jay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
There was something interesting there because and Horacio was taking a lot of heat for this, like on social media, but Jay was basically saying that like they were talking about Moriah a bit, and then they started talking about how Nurys started hanging out with Horacio, and then Nurys like stopped being like for the girls, like stopped like communicating with some of the girls as much. And Horacio was just like standing there, like not saying anything, like not defending Nurys. And everyone on social media is like, how is this man like so boring that like he won't even stand up for his girlfriend when Jay is like talking negatively about her game?
He literally says nothing. Like,
yeah.
Maybe that's why they work, because they're opposites, but like he's gonna say nothing. Like, also, why are you saying that in front of him? I don't know. All of that was just not great.
Yeah. So Jessica hopes that Horacio picked up on Jay letting it slip that Nurys might get turned on next.
I hope Horacio tells Nurys this.
Yes. Maybe he's just like being silent, just taking in information.
Yeah, Horacio is such a nice guy, and like I want to like him so much, but he's just so boring too. That this season where he's not like winning a million eliminations, it's like, why are you even here, Horacio? Like, you don't want to provide anything. You're not going into eliminations. Like, obviously the couple is cute, but like we need a little bit more from you, Horacio, please.
A little bit. Hopefully in the weeks to
come. And she especially would want her man to stand up for her.
Slash, she I think will go after Jay though at that point, right?
Yeah. And she doesn't necessarily need someone to stand up for her. She can stand up for herself, but it's like, you know.
It would be kind of good though if they start coming from Horacio and then Horacio tells her about Jay. Like, you know what I mean? Like the tornado might be brewing with Nurys defending both herself and Horacio. So
yeah, I think that the number one thing that we need to be like on the lookout for, that we need to hope for, is that Nurys is going to separate herself from the core, like in favor of Horacio. Because if that doesn't happen, we're going to be in for a very boring second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the preview looks decent, so hopefully it'll end up being entertaining. So Moriah's asking the girls not to say James's name, and all I wrote here is like, all these people are annoying me with their anti-Moriah crap. Like, let her do her thing. It's really boring.
It's boring.
So we get to the nominations, and okay, how did you guys feel about Kyland just wearing all black and deciding to say it's Kyland's? It was Kyland's funeral, right? Not Melissa's funeral.
It was Kyland's funeral, and he did actually post on Twitter that he was like giving a shout out to Dan's funeral.
Of course, he was.
It was like nice to see that like Kyland has respect for like the reality TV history.
Yeah,
cool.
But
he's
like,
a fan,
but like he didn't really do it. It did nothing, in my opinion.
No, it didn't do anything. No.
But on the Challenge official podcast, Devin was like, if you remember, the first original funeral was the funeral of her wig. Tamara, I think the wig's name was, which that was actually really funny. I remember when like they had like all the people carrying the wig out and like bearing it, and she's like acting like a widow, crying like that was.
I do remember that. Yes,
definitely more entertaining than this one, but you know, I appreciate the nod. I wish he wore like a veil or something.
Yeah.
So no real surprise here. Pretty much everybody said James. James says Ed. Kyland says Ed. And I don't know who Horacio said. They kind of like.
No, he didn't have a vote because he
Yeah,
was on the
'cause
Oh,
winning
he's on the
team.
winning side. Right. So we get to the arena, and as we already mentioned a little bit earlier, that Darrell comes out with barely any accolades from TJ, which was surprising because he's known him way longer than Tori. Like his entire, actually, Darrell's been part of the show since TJ's been on it.
And I would argue one of the best to play. Obviously, we've seen that he hasn't been winning as of late, but he has often makes it really far. And what makes him one of the best, I would argue, is that he is really good at understanding when to not make waves and when to place himself in the right position. Yes, he's had times where he hasn't maybe taken a risk when he could have or should have, but as a whole, he's a very consistent player while still bringing really entertaining confessionals, winning some epic eliminations, not being a sore loser. Like he's all around just such a staple and like someone who has helped shape it. So if anything, he's one of the
100%.
goats.
Yeah, I think
he
the
came
reason
from Road Rules or Real World. I think just that in general should be like legendary status, coming from like so far back, like almost 20 years ago or more than 20 years ago for Road Rules. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he's been with MTV and the franchise for more than half of his life, he deserves a little bit more respect for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So he's had 14 challenges. He's been to 6 finals. He had 4 back-to-back wins. We get to the draw, and it's Kyland. Okay. So they're doing Firewalker. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Basically, they're standing on a moving platform. There's 6 cauldrons that have to be sparked by whatever flame, and you have to get these fireballs, all 6 lit. And whoever gets them first ignited first, all 6 of them, is going to win this one. And so Kyland gets the first one, then Darrell, then Kyland, then Darrell, and then Kyland, then Darrell, and then I think Kyland won the last 2 or something like that. But Kyland does win this elimination. He does beat a champ. How do you feel about this elimination? And how do you feel about Darrell not giving something that he's more easily able to win? It was a little more of a crapshoot, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think like the elimination was fine. I actually do think like if we were to get like a balls in or like a more of a headbanger here, I still think like Kyland would have had a decent chance.
Sure, but I just would see a little bit more fight,
Yeah.
more literal fire.
Yeah, this was like a fine elimination. Like it was probably much harder than it looked.
Agreed.
And like I know Kyland was posting that it was like very difficult to like navigate the like equipment, but yeah, it was like you bring in like someone like Darrell. Like I wanna see him like get his hands dirty. Like I don't.
Mhm.
This was like fine. It was whatever.
Anybody could have been doing this elimination, not a champ.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
Yeah.
you couldn't tell that like, ooh, that like even with Jordan, right? Jordan is really good with things that there's some sort of strategy or some sort of like he has to think of a quick way to make him be able to win it. And so like that thing where they're running back and forth, there was a lot more strategy that he put in that we didn't see actually, but when he told us after about how his strategy with playing the game. So he was using his strengths there to a certain degree, but I just feel like Darrell didn't get to use any of his strengths. It was just like we'll see who does better.
Yeah. It wasn't
And he's not even good with heights, and so it was a little bit high as well. Like he was on a raised platform.
Yeah, I didn't love the elimination for him. Like I was like, give either like a pole wrestling type thing or some sort of,
or even like the one where you have to
know.
like dig in and like you have the bungee and you have to like crawl to the side.
Yeah, like that would have been still hard. He could have lost, but it would have been a battle in a different
right.
way.
You would see him
Yeah.
put his all into something. That's what I love about Darrell, is that when he puts his all into something, he usually succeeds. These like kind of janky, like that's not his forte.
But I just love how much he cares, and he's so real, and he just like allows himself to be like, yeah, I'm upset. Like I wanted that 10 grand. I wanted to win. And like this sucks, but he's still like so gracious, but he acknowledges when things he can still show that he's like pissed if he loses or whatever. I don't know. I just love his energy is always great. And I hope they bring him back forever.
I love Darrell. Obviously, if we're being real about Darrell, he's not as good as he once was, but
he's 45.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is also due to he isn't as insulated as a player. When he does come back, he doesn't spend his off season partying. He's got a family, he's got a wife. He's not partying in Miami with all these people when he on his free time. So it's he's at a bit of a disadvantage there. I think physically he's still very capable. I don't know. Do you think Darrell will ever win again, on the main show, or do you think he could only win All-Stars at this point?
I think he should have won All-Stars, but anyways,
I
digress.
I really I don't think he'll ever win a main show again. I don't know how many more he'll do.
It depends on how many more. And yeah, I agree with you. It's not likely. It's not likely.
It's not likely unless because he doesn't like to politic, right?
That's the thing.
If he doesn't take that part of the game into his own hands, he's just going to be at risk of going in multiple times. And the more times you go in, the more chances you have to lose. So I just
he's also adaptable though. So I also think that he understands that his pitfalls of the last few has been maybe some of the politicking, and I feel like maybe he would put himself in try some different strategies. I feel like he's someone who is still malleable in that way a little bit, or having a good partner too. Also, I love when he's the underdog too, and then when him and Kiki would I was just him
and Kiki were great together, but if they did better politicking, they might have been more insulated. I know that it was a disadvantage of being on Team Australia, and so that didn't help. But if he was on Team USA with Kiki being from the US or something like that, I could see him winning.
Yeah, he could win in the right circumstances, but it would have to be, in my opinion, at least a theme where he is partnered with someone really strong that is better insulated. If he were to run a final with Amber B, maybe they could win because she's really good with endurance and they obviously have a good relationship. They have enough friends, but I definitely think he could win an All-Star season. That would not shock me at all. But he'll be on 40. I'd be shocked if he wasn't on 40. And I agree with Michele. Bring him back as many seasons as he wants to do. He's earned that right to come back whenever he wants.
Absolutely. And hopefully some more respect from TJ next time. So Kyland wins 6-4. Emmanuel and James are pissed. And TJ asked Darrell some words of advice. And so I wrote down, try to lose the same way you win. What was with that moment? Words of wisdom from Darrell before you leave the game today.
Yeah. What did he mean by that? Did he just mean every loss is a lesson too? Is that what he was trying to
Well, if you win and you're super braggadocious, don't just be consistent. Don't
give credit to your opponent if you lose, things like that.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
Anyways, Moriah, don't worry, I won't tell Johnny. And as we know, he also said, just kidding, he would do the same to you.
Yeah.
And then we learned that Kyland who's so proud of Kyland? I'm so proud of you going to a challenge right now. Oh, TJ said he was so proud of Kyland. Yeah, you gave him quite a few accolades, I would have to say. And then I was hoping, like you were, Matthew, that TJ was going to say, because it's the chaos phase of the game, that we're actually going to have a women's elimination right now. And then Laurel comes running in and she gets to immediately pull chaos, or something. How great would that have been?
I was hoping for that. I'm excited, and I really hope that Laurel gets to pick someone, and that Cara gets to pick someone, and I hope they all get to pick someone.
I mean, please. I know the shot in the dark on Survivor has only worked once, but or twice, but effectively once. Hopefully the chaos phase will pay out.
Yeah. So
at least more than once.
Darrell did like a mini interview with Mike Lewis.
Mhm.
It was only like 10 minutes, but he asked Darrell, like, hey, Darrell, if you pulled like the champ choice, who would you have picked? And he said, oh, I would have 100% chosen Asaf. And I was like, oh, Darrell, don't tempt me with a good time.
I'm obsessed with that.
He's like, yeah, I just like, from what I've seen of him, he's just like super annoying. And I would have chosen him for sure. It's like, oh, Darrell, why could you have not chosen champ choice?
Oh my god.
I am obsessed. Of course.
I guess he wouldn't have been eligible anyways in this case, but like in any other case.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been eligible, but that's so funny.
So
yeah, but maybe
funny.
like Darrell tells Brad, who's like, Brad doesn't know anyone. Darrell's just like, yo, like pick this guy Asaf. He's annoying as fuck.
Oh man, that's amazing. That would be, gotta love Darrell for saying what I need. Like he needs to say that. That's like, thank goodness if people are not, snowed by Asaf here, and they actually see how he's really annoying. Okay. Oh, I haven't listened to Drew's interview yet. Okay, I'll listen to that as well. Oh, and yes, that's what we want. We want Laurel to pick Michele. We want now, I guess, Brad to pick Asaf. And we want CT to pick Jay.
And who do we want Cara Maria to pick? I want Cara Maria to pick Olivia. Actually,
Olivia.
Oh, because everybody's been saying like, oh yeah, like Olivia reminds me of Cara. She's the next card. I'm like, I don't agree, at all.
I'm kind of fine with Cara picking anyone at that point, truly, but probably
I think
Olivia.
size like matchup. I think Olivia though would be most fair.
I feel like Cara will come in and like wants to go after like who she views as the head of the snake.
Exactly. Whoever she thinks is the strongest.
Yeah. So it's like Olivia, Michele. She won't pick Nurys because Nurys is friends with Polly from X on the Beach. So I'm looking at like Olivia, Michele.
Oh, and if by this time Olivia and Nurys are not friends, like she'd be like, Cara, pick this bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, let's dream. Let's stream.
That would be really funny.
Let's manifest it, guys.
Yeah, like there's no way Cara's coming in, like pulls champ choice. Like, yeah, you know what? I'll go against Colleen. Like, no, that is not Cara at all.
No, what's the point? No way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we are being tempted all over the place with good times. Good times. Who's our MVP for this episode? Darrell in his confessional or his interviews?
I would say Moriah.
I mean, Mariah's always my favorite right now.
Kyland
Kyland.
Kyland won. I would say just Mariah's level of like getting less and less bothered. I'm like, all right. I don't know.
And the fact that she's just not being fazed by these like bitchy girls like telling her what to do, just like shut up. Like she's
like, it would be really great if I could have this one person too. Like she's just, I don't know. I'm like, okay, you're getting better. She's showing more of her personality and she's getting more comfortable, I suppose. So that would be like the most interesting. But yeah, I guess I could give it to Kyland.
This is the worst season for MVPs. The format makes MVP impossible because it's like, all right, you kind of like have to give it to Kyland.
Yeah.
But like he also was voted into elimination. But at the same time, there was only like 4 people that were options. So it's like who else? Like everyone else just voted for Kyland. So it's not like there was like crazy strategy on the other side.
Yeah.
Hopefully like once the champs part is done, it makes MVP a little bit easier, but
for sure.
Yeah, I feel like
Kyland for now, whatever, who'll get double points this episode. Whatever. We'll see how it all plays out. But is there any other thoughts or things that you would like to say before we say sayonara?
No, I'm excited for the rest of the season. I wish I could watch it all in one sitting or something. So
that's
that
how you know it's bad, is when you just want to get it over with.
Because obviously I'm curious to know what's going to happen. I'm excited for the champs to come to see what's going to go down, and yeah.
But you just want to know now. You're not.
I
like,
just want to
excited
know.
enough to, like,
well,
draw
it's
it
just
out.
like not that I don't have anyone that I'm like really hard rooting for, so it's kind of freeing in a way of being like I can just see what happens, but I'm a little bit less invested in terms of like the stakes aren't as high.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they'll make them high. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be a lot more excited if we knew, like, hey, there's 16 episodes this season. Like, that would be exciting because it's like, all right, we have we have
We're almost done. Like
5
all right,
more
wrap
and
it
then a
up.
final. But like knowing that like we probably have like 10, 12 more episodes, it's like a little bit discouraging. With the cast that we have, like with like how people are playing. But yeah, if it was like 6 weeks left, like it would be much more exciting because
Definitely.
we
Like
would get to the point.
second week in January and we're done. That'd be super fun. And then have a little bit of a break, then get to All Stars 4 and get some excitement going. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thanks for joining this live. Next week, if it works out, we'll probably go live on Thursday again. I will be away on Wednesday. So that's the only thing that's going to be going on. So Thursday it is, but I will be going live after Reindeer Games, the finale with Rob as a podcast. So if you guys are watching that show, make sure you guys tune in live. Do you guys have anything you're working on you want to say or share with the people?
No, I'm excited to watch Reindeer Games.
Reindeer Games. Yay, the finale, the conclusion. All right, everybody, please like this channel, subscribe, and let us know. I don't know. Who do you think is MVP? Dabu says Banana's MVP. I don't know if we agree with that one.
Well, Bananas could be the MVP of House of Villains finale tonight. So
Oh,
stay
shoot.
tuned.
Yeah, that's on too. I can't wait. Okay. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, y'all.
All right.